Okay class, so welcome sa first module natin, or first chapter ng lesson natin in Foundation Engineering. So this is the effective stresses in soil. So before we proceed in our discussion regarding the effective stresses in soil, so let's first know what are the objectives of this lesson. So the first objective of this lesson is to explain the concept of effective stresses in soils. Next is to analyze the stresses in saturated soil under different conditions. First, we have the without seepage. Next, with upward seepage. And lastly is the downward seepage. And for our last objective, so we will be discussing the calculation for the seepage force per unit volume of the soil. So to proceed with, let's first define what is effective stresses. Okay, effective stresses, so this refers to the stress transmission through the soil skeleton, which directly influences the soil strength and the deformation behavior. Okay, so it is also the measure of the grain to grain contact force per unit cross-sectional area of the soil mass. So later on we'll be seeing the figure when it comes to the definition of the effective stresses, that it is a measurement of a grain to grain contact force per unit cross-sectional area. Okay, and also that the portion of the total stress carried by the soil particles, and that total stress controls the soil strength, the settlement, and of course the stability. So total stress is a part of effective stresses. So with all this definition in hand on the effective stresses, we can simply define it mathematically as the effective stress, or denoted as sigma prime, is equal to the total stress, denoted as sigma, minus the neutral stress, or also known as the pore water pressure, or denoted as U. Okay, wherein the sigma prime is the effective stress in kilopascal. So we are be using the SI units. So the stresses here will be in terms of kilopascal. Sigma is denoted as for the total stress, again in kilopascal, and U is pore water pressure, or also known as the neutral stress. Okay, later on we will be seeing why pore water pressure is also called a neutral stress. Okay, so it is also in terms of kilopascal. So for the concept of effective stress, as mentioned a while ago, based on our definition of effective stress, that the effective stress is the measurement of grain to grain contact force per unit cross sectional area. So we'll be having here a grain of soil, okay, grains of soil. So when we say grain to grain contact, so we have here grains of soil, and we have here the cross sectional area. Okay, so it is cut into a B to B section. Okay, so if we apply forces, no, forces P prime uh, on each grain to grain side, grain to grain soil, so we'll be having this type of effective stress, no? So and each grain size, okay, has its own area. Okay, so I'll be using a pen. Kung may force tayo pababa dito, okay, meron tayong mga forces dyan. Okay. Say for example, this is force W. Okay. These P primes, okay, P prime 1, P prime 2, P prime 3, P prime 4, P prime 5, okay. This W acts on the topmost layer of our grain in consideration. And it is balanced or neutralized by these p primes, okay, from the bottom of our sections. Okay, so we can denote this as our sigma prime, and we all know that stress, no, based on our strema or strength of materials, that stress is equal to the force over the area. Okay, so we all know that, na second year pa lang tayo, alam na natin yung yung formula ng stress, no, it is just the force over the area. Okay, so therefore we can denote sigma prime or the effective stress as the compilation or the summation of all p primes, okay, of all p primes all over the unit area or the area itself. Okay, so that's why it answers to the definition of the effective stress as the grain-to-grain contact force per unit cross-sectional area. It is just simply P over A. Okay? And this summation of P primes, we can denote is as simply P prime. Okay? Or the force prime or the effective force all over the cross-sectional area. Okay? Whereas, the P prime is the summation of all P primes. Okay? Where I is equal to 1 and it is and I is the number of contacts. Okay. And also P prime acts over green-to-green contact area. Okay? So, meron tayo dito mga forces na itong W na to, madidistribute pa yan dito, no? Sa mga green-to-green size natin. Sa mga soils natin yan. Madidistribute pa yan. Ang P prime natin, yung mga P prime natin na to, it acts as the balancing force, no? Para naman, yung force na galing dito, force W, okay, hindi siya totally bumagsak lang, no? So, alam naman natin yan, no, based from our physics, no? Meron tayong force na pababa, or sabi natin, gravitational force, pababa. Meron tayo dito surface. Okay? Say, for example, this is your force P. Okay? Alam natin na meron tayo din force pataas. And that will be our normal force. Okay? It acts also as the same as this itong mga P prime nito, na. So, may force tayo pababa. Of course, may magka-counteract dyan na normal force, in which this case, our normal force will be P prime. Okay? So, we have here an example, no? Example of our of a water table on the top and a soil column on the bottom. Okay? So, our section is a B2B section. Ito yon. Ito yung section natin na yon. Okay? So, this is our water table. This is our water table and this is our soil column. Okay? Of course, sa water table natin, due to gravity, due to the weight itself, weight of the water, weight of the soil, collectively, we can denote this as W. May pressure or may weight na nanggagaling sa water table natin. And also, we have also pressure coming from our soil. And on this section, sa B2B section, meron din siyang acting force or reacting force, which is force P. Okay? So, may W tayo. We don't know what that W is. So, it might be the weight of the water table or the weight of the soil or any. May buoyancy pa yan. So, we have a reacting force P to counteract that W. Okay? And that P has two parts. First is the grain-to-grain contact force, which is, we discussed a while ago, that is the P prime. And another thing is the buoyant force, denoted as capital U. Okay? Again, P or force P consists of two parts, the grain-to-grain contact force P prime and the buoyant force, capital U. Okay? In which, in this case, kapag zoom in natin yung ating grains of soil, ganito itsura niya, no? So, ano siya, mga contacts of soils, okay? Meron din siya mga voids, no? May mga voids tayo sa loob. Okay? Yung mga voids na yan, possible na kung dry yung soil natin, based on our soil mechanics, no? Kung dry ang soil natin, wala siyang, walang nasa loob ng mga voids natin, air lang siya. Pero kung moist siya, meron siyang water, no? May counting water siya. Kung saturated siya, fully saturated siya ng water. Okay? Again, may contact force P prime tayo dito along the cross-sectional area. Now, let's discuss what is buoyant force, denoted as capital U. This buoyant force acts over the area of grains not in contact with each other. Ibig sabihin, ito daw mga voids na to, no? Wala siyang contact sa ibang no? Sa ibang grains of soil, no? Wala siyang contact. So, andito daw yung ating buoyant force or capital U. Okay? But, if we zoom in further dun sa ating buoyant force, meron tayo mga internal forces, no? May mga maliliit pa tayong forces dyan. Okay? And that forces is denoted as U, no? And that small u is what we call the pore water pressure or the neutral stress. Neutral stress. Bakit neutral stress? So, meron tayong contact forces in between ng mga grains of soil natin. Ang ginagawa ngayon ng neutral stress or ng pore water pressure is to neutralize yung mga grains of soils natin na yan. Okay? Neutralize yan. So, hindi pwede na nagka-crushing lang sila sa isa't isa, no? Ang ginagawa ngayon ng pore water pressure or kung may tubig sa loob niyan, okay? Kung may tubig sa loob niyan, ino-hold or binabind niya yung mga soil grains natin. That is why, kung wala tayong, o kung walang water or walang moisture yung sand natin or yung soil natin, just like water content is equal to 0, yung mga 0% ng water content, makikita nyo para siyang loose yung mga soil natin. Compared dun sa mga meron tayong water or moisture, no, sa loob ng soil, intact pa rin sila or somewhat medyo magkakadikit-dikit pa rin sila. Okay? So those are those pores, yung mga pores na yon in between, meron tayo dong pore water pressure. It binds, it holds our grains of soil. Okay? And the formula for the buoyant force is pore water pressure multiplied by the total area or total cross-sectional area of the soil minus the grain-to-grain cross-sectional area. Okay? Yung small a na yan, yung maliliit na a. Maliliit na area, no, ng grains of soil natin. Okay? So now, let's discuss the effective stress equation. Okay. Paano naman nabuo yung formula natin for effective stress? So, from our cross-sectional area, denoted as capital A, we have W is equal to P. So, alam natin yan, no? W is equal to P or weight is equal to the total force. And that total force is also written as P prime or the effective force plus the buoyant force. Based from our discussion kanina, okay, so sabihin natin meron tayo ulit soil column, no? Meron tayong force pababa, which is W, and may force din tayo dyan pataas, which is P. Therefore, W is equal to P. Okay? At itong P na to can be written as P prime or the effective force plus the buoyant force. Okay? If we divide this if we divide all sides by the cross-sectional area, so very familiar na tayo dito sa mga equations na nabuo natin, no? We can denote P over A, or the force over the area, as the total stress. Okay, in soil, sigma is total stress. Okay, algebraically, this will become P prime over A. And that P prime over A, since effective force yung P prime natin dito, therefore, ang sigma natin dito or stress natin will be the effective stress. Plus, this is U over A. Okay, kanina, sabi natin, the formula for the buoyant force, capital U, is equal to the pore water pressure, small u, times the area minus the grain to grain area. Okay? Ganyan ang formula natin. So, substitute natin. Okay? Then still divided by A kasi divide natin all sides by the cross-sectional area. Okay, again, algebraically, we can write this as the total stress is equal to the effective stress plus the pore water pressure times 1 minus grain size area all over cross-sectional area of soil. Then, we can cancel A over A. Bakit kailangan natin i-cancel ang A over A? Comparing yung value ni A over A sa values ng ating mga stresses, hindi naman napagkakaila na napakaliit lang naman ng mga area ng ating soils, no? Yung area ng soil natin napakaliliit lang yan, lalo yung mga grain size, no? So therefore, we can neglect it. Okay? So cancel lang natin yung A over A. So matitira na lang is yung 1. If we multiply U sa 1, magkakaroon tayo ng U. So therefore, this will be the equation for our stresses. We have the total stress is equal to the effective stress plus the neutral stress. Rewriting this, we have the effective stress is equal to the total stress minus the pore water pressure or the neutral stress. And this will be our general equation for the effective stress. Okay. So, we all know the formula for the effective stress. Okay, so let's use that equation on the following conditions. Okay, based on our objectives, kailangan daw natin malaman effective stress sa tatlong conditions: no seepage, upward seepage, and downward seepage. Okay, so first condition is the effective stress with no seepage. Okay, so we have here a tank, no? Sa taas niya is a water table, height or depth of H sub 1. And we have here at the bottom is a saturated soil at the depth of H sub 2. We have also here valve, and that valve is closed. No? So, walang lumalabas sa tubig at wala ding dumadagdag na tubig. Okay? Sa ating piezometer, okay, or sa standpipe natin, it is also given that at points A, C, and B, balance siya. Equal siya sa taas. No? Equal siya. Kasi nga, walang pumapasok na tubig, wala din lumalabas sa tubig. Okay? That is an example of no seepage. Okay? Magiging balance ang water level natin dito sa ating piezometer or sa standpipe natin. Okay? So, before we proceed on our formulas for effective stress with no seepage, let's discuss first total stress. Okay? Denoted as sigma. Okay? So, we have here a column of soil, and sa itaas niya is a water table. Okay? At the height H, Ang kinukuhanan natin ng area is itong bottom. Okay? We have a point B. Okay? So, total stress, by definition, sa strength of materials, stress nga siya, so that will be P over A. Okay? Ano yung P natin? That P is the total weight. Okay? All over the area of consideration. Sa soil mechanics, okay? What is W? If this type of soil is a saturated soil, ba't tinawag natin siya saturated, no? Yung soil natin sa ibaba, ang soil natin ay nasa ibaba, ang water natin sa itaas. So, mas mataas na ngayon ang water level natin compared sa depth ng soil. Therefore, fully saturated na yung soil natin. Okay? Basang-basa na yung soil natin. If that is saturated soil, so therefore, ang unit weight niya will be gamma sat. Okay? Or the gamma saturated. With that, again, soil mechanics, weight or total weight. Okay? The gamma sat is equal to kilonewton per cubic meter. Okay? So, we need to remove itong cubic meter. Saan natin siya i-multiply yung gamma sat? So, kailangan natin siya i-multiply ngayon sa volume. So, doon nakuha yung gamma V. Okay? Yung gamma V natin, that will be equal to the force P, no? P is equal to gamma V. Okay? So, matatanggal yung cubic meter kasi cubic meter tong volume natin. So, matitira ay kilonewton. Yun yung W natin. Okay? So, ngayon, what will be the volume that we need to consider for the total stress? Okay? For the W, we can substitute W total as, of course, gamma sat. No? Soil ang consideration natin, hindi yung tubig. Soil. Gamma sat times volume natin. So, that will be the area of the point of consideration, in which this case, itong bottom, multiplied by the height of the soil. Okay? Divided by area. Okay? Again, that will be gamma sat times the area of consideration times the height or the depth of the soil column all over the area of the area of consideration. Okay? So, makaka-cancel natin dyan yung area. Okay? Cancel ang area dyan. Therefore, we can definitely say that the total stress of a soil, again, the total stress of a soil is equal to gamma sat, okay, or the saturated unit weight of soil multiplied by the depth of the soil. Okay? So, ganito po natin kukunin yung total stress. Again, total stress or sigma is equal to the saturated unit weight of soil multiplied by the height of the soil column. Okay, so alam na natin total stress. Let's now proceed sa pagkuha naman ng formulas for effective stress with no seepage. So first, total stress tayo. Okay? Total stress. Okay, ang consider natin is first itong point A. No? So kung i-consider natin itong point A, we need also to consider yung soil or water sa itaas di point A. Okay? In which this case, sa point A, ang nasa itaas niya ay tubig. Ito i-consider natin. Yan. So, H2O, water. Okay? So, water yung kino-consider natin sa point A. Di ba nga, total stress is equal to what? To gamma sat times the depth. Okay? Walang problema, may depth tayo. May gamma sat ba tayo dito? Okay? Sa point na yan. Again, walang soil dyan. Okay? Magkakagamma sat ka lang kung meron kang soil sa itaas. Okay? Since this is purely water table yan, at the height of H sub 1, therefore, we can get the total stress at point A as what? Gamma W or gamma of water, hindi gamma sat. Gamma water ang ko-consider natin sa point A. Okay? Kasi nasa itaas niya ay tubig. Okay? So, gamma water multiply by H sub 1. Okay? Or the height or the depth of the water. Again, the total stress at point A, since tubig yung nasa itaas niya, that will be gamma W or the unit weight of water times H sub 1. Doon naman tayo sa point B. No? Point B tayo. Sa point B, ilang types ang kino-consider natin dyan? So, we have two types, no? In consideration. We have H sub 1 or layer 1 as the water and layer 2 as the soil. In which, in this case, nasa itaas ang water table natin. Nasa itaas ng soil natin. So, therefore, we can say na itong soil natin sa ibaba is fully saturated. So, therefore, ang gagamitin natin dito will be gamma sat or the saturated unit weight. Okay, laging tatandaan yun. Pag nasa itaas ang tubig or ang water table, matik ang nasa ilalim niya ay saturated soil. So, therefore, ang gagamitin natin is the saturated unit weight. Okay? Again, effective stress, stress pa rin to. Therefore, ang gagamitin pa rin natin is gamma H. No? Gamma H pa rin. So, therefore, we can have the stress or total stress at point B as gamma W or the unit weight of water times H sub 1. Okay? That will be our layer 1 plus gamma sat, itong layer 2 natin or the layer of soil times H sub 2. Okay. So, this formula, mga formulas naman na to is intended just for this kind of figure. No? But, the process of obtaining the working formula is just the same. No? Kung i-consider mo si B, si point B, kung may tatlong layer ka dyan, edi tatlong layers ay i-consider mo. No? Kung si point C ang kino-consider mo at meron kang limang layer sa itaas ni point C, 5 layer ang i-consider mo. No? So, that will be the formula or working formula for total stresses A and total stresses B. And lastly, pwede rin kasi natin kunin yung total stress or effective stresses natin in between our soil column. Kahit saan point dyan sa ating soil column, pwede natin kunin. As long as, of course, given dapat ang depth or depth can be computed. Okay? But by this time, let's find the equation for total stress at C. Ilan ang kino-consider natin layer? So, we are considering here two layers. The layer of water and the layer of the saturated soil. Okay? But, hindi tulad ni point B, kino-consider natin is H sub 2. Kay point C, ang kino-consider natin is depth Z. So, therefore, we can have now the formula or working formula for the total stress at C as gamma W or the unit weight of water times H sub 1 plus gamma sat, since part pa rin siya ng gamma sat, okay, or na saturated soil, multiply by depth Z. So, kung magdadagdag ka pa ng points dyan, basta alam mo kung ano yung depth, you can get the total stress. No? Now, total stress pa lang yan. Meron ka dalawang variables for the effective stress. We have the total stress and the neutral stress or the pore water pressure. Now, let's get the pore water pressure. Okay, pore water pressure. Again, sa pore water pressure, ano kino-consider natin dito? Yung tubig. Ha? Yung tubig ang kino-consider natin dito. Pore water nga eh. Pore water pressure. So, water pressure ang kino-consider natin. So, the unit weight that we will be using is just gamma W. Again, sa pore water pressure, ang gagamitin lang natin dito will be gamma W, or the unit weight of water. Okay, not the saturated unit weight. Saturated unit weight is just for the soil, no? Pero dito, gamma W yung gagamitin natin. Okay, again, let's consider point A. Sa point A, sa itaas niyan, okay, sa itaas ng point A, we have water, of course, no? So, we can compute, or we can calculate or form the equation for the UA, or the pore water pressure at point A, as gamma W times H sub 1. Kasi ang nag-a-act lang sa point A is just the water. Ilang layers i-consider natin na nag-a-act sa point B? We'll be considering 2 layers. We have the first layer ng water, ito yon, and the second layer of the saturated soil. So, sir, bakit kailangan pa kasama yung soil? Again, saturated yung soil natin. Okay? So, meron tayong mga soils dyan. Soil. Magkakadikit yan. And in between ng mga soil natin, may mga tubig yan. Okay? Kaya nga siya saturated soil. Kahit moist. So, saturated soil siya. So, may mga tubig pa yan in between. No? May mga tubig-tubig pa yan sa loob niya. No? So, we need to consider that also. No? Unless wala siyang tubig sa loob. Okay? So, may mga problems tayo na ganun. No? So, kung kasama pala itong layer of soil na to, ito layer of saturated soil, we can also get the pore water pressure sa loob ng soil na to. Okay? May tubig eh. So, therefore, UB, or the neutral stress at point B, is equal to gamma W multiplied by the depth of H sub 1 plus gamma W, okay? Gamma W, hindi gamma sat, multiplied by H sub 2. And then, lastly, point C, UC. So, same na din naman, no? We have gamma W, H sub 1, plus gamma W dito sa soil, times depth Z. So, we have now completed the formulas for total stress and pore water pressure. Okay. Again, disclaimer lang, no? Hindi ito yung definitive formulas for the effective stress. This is just a sample procedure kung paano kunin yung working formula natin. Okay? Later on sa problems, you'll see how we can apply itong procedure na to. No? So, nakuha na natin total stress, nakuha natin pore water pressure. Yun yung dalawang variables na nawawala na kailangan natin to calculate the effective stress. So, now, for the effective stress, sigma prime. So, we have here 3 points again, point A, point B, point C. Ito yung mga total stresses natin na kinalculate natin kanina. And ito naman yung mga pore water pressure natin that you have calculated kanina. So, based on the formula of effective stress, sigma prime is equal to sigma minus pore water pressure. So, we just need to subtract sigma, or the total stress, minus the pore water pressure. Okay? So, gamma WH sub 1 minus gamma WH sub 1, of course, that will be 0. If we subtract the total stress at point B, and the pore water pressure at point B will be having this form. We can cancel gamma WH sub 1 on both of our variables, no? Makakancel natin yan. So, we can now have gamma sat H sub 2 minus gamma WH sub 2. Labas natin yung H sub 2 since ito yung similar sa dalawang sa dalawang values natin, no? Labas natin H sub 2. So, gamma sat minus gamma W times H sub 2. Very familiar sa atin yung gamma sat minus gamma W. Okay? From our soil mechanics, no? Gamma sat minus gamma W, saan siya equal? No? Soil mechanics, this is equal to gamma prime. Okay? Now, what is gamma prime? So, naalala nyo pa yung gamma prime? Gamma prime is the submerged unit weight or also known as the buoyant unit weight. Okay. Submerged unit weight or buoyant unit weight. So, that is gamma sat minus gamma W. So, bakit nga ba siya tinawag na submerged unit weight? 'Di ba? Gamma sat that is composed of water and soil, binawasan mo ng water. So, ang makukuha mo na lang ay yung gamma ng soil. And that gamma ng soil is submerged sa ilalim ng tubig or submerged sa tubig. So, that's why it is called a submerged unit weight. So, we can substitute itong gamma prime sa ating working equation. So, we can have the effective stress at point B as gamma prime H times H sub 2. Okay? So, lastly, the effective stress at point C. No? So, this is effective stress. Okay, lastly, we have the effective stress at point C. Okay? So, if we subtract the total stress and the pore water pressure, we can have this working equation. Okay? Again, we can cancel out gamma W and H sub 1 times H sub 1. And we can have this equation, gamma sat Z minus gamma W Z. Okay? Labas natin yung equal sa kanila, which is yung Z. We have gamma sat minus gamma W multiplied by Z. Again, gamma sat minus gamma W is the submerged unit weight or gamma prime. So, we can substitute this as gamma prime times Z. So, that is how we can get the formula or working formulas for the effective stress without seepage. Okay? And of course, there will be times na kailangan natin i-plot yung ating mga stresses, the total stress, the neutral stress, and the effective stress. Okay? So, we can plot this using this graph, na? So, this is the graph or this is the plot for the total stress. As you can see, parang na siya, no? Parang triangle lang siya, parang straight line, linear lang siya, no? Somewhat medyo, pero hindi siya dapat linear. So, we have also for the pore water pressure or the neutral stress. And ito naman yung para sa effective stress. So, we have here 0. Of course, mag-i-start ka sa 0. Then, sa point A, 0 pa din siya. Okay? So, same pa rin siya dun sa computation natin kanina. So, start siya sa 0. Then, magpo-proceed siya sa 0 pa din. And then, gamma prime Z. And then sa point B, gamma prime H sub 2. Let's apply this knowledge into a problem. So problem 1.1, okay, this is also included in your module. So a soil profile is shown. Calculate the total stress, the pore water pressure, and the effective stress at points A, B, and C. Ito yung A, ito yung B, ito naman yung C. Okay? So let's start at point A. Tayo sa point A. Sa point A, above point A, wala tayong kahit ano. Air lang siya, no? Void air lang siya. Okay? So therefore, our total stress at point A is equal to 0. Bakit? Air lang siya eh. Okay? Walang kahit ano sa itaas niya. Walang nagpapastress sa kanya. Okay? Next, pore water pressure, may tubig ba sa itaas? That's the question. The answer is none. So therefore, the pore water pressure at point A is also equal to 0. And then, subtracting the total stress and the pore water pressure, we can get the effective stress, in which, at point A, that is also equal to 0. Again, total stress niya ay 0. Wala kang tubig dyan, wala kang soil sa itaas. Same sa UA, or the pore water pressure at A. Wala kang tubig naman sa itaas, or wala kang saturated soil sa itaas. So, 0. Okay? So, effective stress mo, 0 din. Next, at point B. Okay? At point B, meron daw tayong soil sample sa itaas. No? At a depth of 6 meter. Meron tayong dry sand. Take note, dry sand. Dry sand itong layer na to. So, kung dry sand siya, ang unit weight na gagamitin natin will not be saturated, will not be moist unit weight, kundi gamma dry, which is given as 16.5 kilonewton per cubic meter. So, therefore, the total stress at point B is equal to gamma dry, kasi nga dry sand yan. Ang water table natin pala ay nasa ibaba ng dry sand. So, therefore, dry nga talaga yung sand natin dito. Multiply by H sub 1. Okay? Substituting the values of gamma D and H sub 1, we have 16.5 kilonewton per cubic meter multiplied by 6 meters. Okay, calculating, we can get the total stress at point B as 99 kilopascal. Pore water pressure at point B. Okay, may soil tayo sa taas. Kaso, dry siya. Dry sand. Okay, wala siyang water. Okay, wala siyang moisture, wala siyang kahit anong tubig sa loob. So, therefore, the pore water pressure at point B will be equal to 0. Okay? Eh sir, sa ibaba naman niya may tubig, no? Ang kino-consider po natin per point ay yung itaas, no? Yung nasa itaas na layers niya. Okay? So, therefore, total stress or the effective stress at point B is equal to the total stress at point B minus the pore water pressure at point B. Subtracting 99 minus 0, we can have the effective stress at point B as 99 kilopascal. And lastly, at point C. Okay? Sa point C, dalawang layers na ngayon ang kino-consider natin. We have the layer for the dry sand and the layer for the saturated sand. Okay? Tandaan na ang groundwater table natin is at the depth of 6 meters from the top. And that will be the start ng ating saturated sand. Okay? So therefore, we can have the working equation for the total stress at point C as gamma dry H sub 1, ito, yung dry sand natin, plus the gamma sat times H sub 2. Okay? Or the saturated sand natin. Okay? Substituting the values, we can have 16.5 times 6 plus 19.25 times the column of the height of the saturated sand, which is 13. Calculating the total stress at point C, we can have 349.25 kilopascal. Okay? So at point C, the question will be, meron ba tayo dito water? Okay? May water ba na tumutulak sa kanya pababa? The answer is, meron. Since saturated sand na siya, saturated na siya at 13 meters, we can now have the working equation for UC, which is equal to gamma W times H sub 2. Okay? Okay, say for example naman, no, yung nasa itaas natin, yung water table natin na dito sa pinakatuktok, no. Itong layer na to will be saturated, sabi natin, saturated clay. Itong layer naman na to, yung 13 meters, is saturated sand pa din. So, we will be considering the saturated clay plus the saturated sand para naman dito sa point C. But in this problem, yung groundwater table natin is just located 13 meters, which is our saturated sand. So therefore, UC is equal to gamma W times H sub 2. Substituting the values, so we all know that the unit weight of water is 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter times 13 meters. UC is equal to 127.53 kilopascal. So we can now compute for the effective stress at point C. That is total stress at C minus UC, or the pore water pressure at point C. That will be 349.25 minus 127.53 kilopascals. The effective stress at point C is equal to 221.72 kilopascal. Okay? So that is for problem 1.1. Now, problem 1.2. So from the figure at the problem 1.1, how high should the water table rise so that the effective stress at point C is 190 kilonewton per square meter? Assume that the gamma saturated to be the same for both layers. Okay? So, on a later time daw, possible na umakyat yung groundwater table natin. Yung height ng groundwater table natin. Aakyat daw siya. So, hindi natin alam yung height na inakyat ng water table natin. Pero binigay yung effective stress at which na umakyat yung water table natin, which is 190 kilopascal. Okay? So, we need now to assume that the gamma sat dito sa inakyatan niya and do sa saturated sand ay equal. Okay? Equal yung gamma sat. So, sundan lang din natin yung procedure natin kanina. So, layer by layer ang pagko-compute natin. Okay? So, first, let's get total stress at point C. Okay? So, we have, ito first layer muna tayo. Okay? Ito first layer muna. So, that will be 6 meters minus itong H para makuha natin yung height na to, no? Ito. So that will be 6 minus H. Multiply by what? Gamma dry, which is 16.5 kilonewton per cubic meter. Plus H. Ito tayo. Andito tayo ngayon. Itong H na to. Times, of course. Sa ating multiply yan, doon sa saturated unit weight, which is 19.25. Kasi sabi nga sa problem, assume that the unit weight or the gamma sat to be the same for both layers. At tinutukoy niya dito is yung saturated sand ay equal daw yung gamma sat niya doon sa sand na inakyat nung groundwater table natin. Okay? Assuming na same ang gamma sat. Plus, etong column ng saturated sand natin, which is 13 meters times 19.25 kilonewton per cubic meter. Okay? Simplifying, we can have this as equation number 1. Next, UC. Okay? At this layer, meron ba tayong gamma of water dyan? The answer is wala. Because this is a dry sand. Okay? Dito sa 6 minus H. Okay? So, dito tayo mag-i-start ngayon sa H. Kasi saturated na ngayon to. May tubig na ngayon dyan. So, therefore, that will be H times 9.81. Ito yung gamma of water natin. Plus, the column 13 meters, which is the saturated sand. So, that will be 13 times 9.1. And that will be our equation 2. Again, the required effective stress at point C is equal to 190 kilopascal. And our formula for effective stress at point C is equal to the total stress at point C minus the pore water pressure at point C. Substituting equations 1 and 2 sa ating working formula, we can have 190 minus equation 1, ito, simplified na to, minus equation 2. Okay? So, simplifying further, we can have 190 is equal to 99 minus 16.5H plus 19.25H plus 250.25 minus 9.81H minus 127.53. Okay? Simplifying further, we have 190 minus 221.72 minus 7.06 H. Okay? Pwede na ito shift solve, no? We can have the height of the rise of the water table as 4.49 meters. Ibig sabihin daw, marireach natin yung effective stress at point C sa bottom na 190 kilopascal if yung groundwater table daw natin is umakyat approximately 4.49 meters or 4.5 meters. Kaya aakyat daw yan ng H. And that is those are the problems for our effective stress with no seepage. Next, effective stress with upward seepage. Okay? Ito yung seepage natin, no? Ito yung tank natin. Again, 2 layers of water and layer of soil. Okay? The soil natin is still saturated soil. May pipe pa rin tayo dito. Yung pipe natin sa ibaba ngayon ay naka-open. Okay, yung valve naka-open siya. Wala naman tumatagas, no? Wala naman tumatagas pababa. Pero may pumapasok daw na tubig or inflow from the pipe paakyat ng soil sample natin. Okay, that's why itong force na to, ito yung upward seepage. Okay, so galing daw sa baba yung tubig, pataas daw siya. Ang tendency ngayon ng tubig natin sa water table natin ay mag-overflow. So that's the problem with upward seepage, no? May inflow ka galing sa ilalim, so pinupush niya pataas yung tubig kailangan may kawalan yung tubig, kailangan niya makapasok doon sa water table. Pero ang water table natin is limited lang yung height at height h sub 1. Mag-overflow ngayon or mag-spill ngayon yung tubig natin sa ating water table. Okay? In which, in this case, hindi na pantay-pantay yung ating piezometer or yung pipe natin, standpipe natin. Okay? Mas mataas na ngayon ang level ng ating bottom part compared sa ating top part and yung middle parts natin, no? Meron na siya ngayon difference, no? You have a difference or at the height h from the water table papunta dito sa ating bottom. Okay, kapag natin yung standpipe natin, i-measure natin, we have the height small h, no? And the difference between the pressure at points A and point C, yung elevation niya will be h over h sub 2 multiplied by the depth z. So therefore, let's find first yung mga needs natin, no? The total stress and the pore water pressure. Start tayo sa total stress. So total stress at A muna. Okay? The total stress at A is still gamma WH sub 1. Bakit? Tubig pa rin na may nasa itaas niya, no? Kahit na may nanggagaling sa ilalim, no? Na force pataas, tubig pa rin to, no? And of course, may gravity. Tutulak pa rin siya pababa. Magkakaroon pa rin ng pressure pababa yan. Kahit na tinutulak ng pipe na to, yung water pataas. May weight pa rin yan pababa. So therefore, the total stress at point A will be gamma WH sub 1. Kasi nga tubig yun nasa itaas ng point A. Next, point B. Sa point B, dalawang layers pa rin na consider natin. Layer of water and the layer of the soil mass. Okay? So same pa rin. We have sigma sub B or the total stress at sub B is equal to gamma WH sub 1 plus gamma sat H sub 2. And lastly, at point C, ito, same lang din siya ng total stress at point B, no? That will be gamma WH sub 1 plus gamma sat times Z. Next, pore water pressure. At point A, sa itaas niya, water pa rin. Water din, no? So, we can have the formula for sigma sub A as gamma W times H sub 1. Okay, eto. Dito na ngayon magkakaroon ng changes, no? So, kanina, 2 layers lang ang kino-consider natin when it comes to pore water pressure. Layer of water and the layer of sand or the layer of soil. In pore water pressure, kapag upward seepage siya and also downward seepage, at nakakita na kayo ngayon ng difference in elevation sa standpipe, tatlo na ay i-consider natin na layer. We have the layer of water, the layer of the soil, and lastly is the standpipe. Okay, itong difference of the standpipe from the water table, of course. So therefore, U sub B is equal to, of course, gamma W times H sub 1 plus may water pa rin dito sa soil natin, that is gamma W times H sub 2, and yung water natin sa ating standpipe. Ito yung bottom natin, yung point B, no? Dito siya nakatutok. Ang height niya from the water table is height H. So therefore, we need to add gamma W times H. Okay? So that is the difference of the level from the water table. Okay? Sa standpipe natin. And we have UC. Okay? Sa C, dalawa din, no? Tatlo. We have the water table, the soil column, and the elevation at the standpipe. Okay? So, we have gamma WH sub 1. Tutulak pa rin yan sa point C. Plus gamma W times Z. Itong soil mass natin. Plus gamma W times H over H sub 2 times Z. Paki-take note to, ha? Kung paano kinukuha yung difference at the elevation kapag upward seepage. That would be H over H sub 2, or the difference of the height of the standpipe from the water table to the bottom, multiply by all over the depth of the soil column in consideration, times Z. And from the soil mechanics and fluid mechanics, H over H sub 2 is what we call the hydraulic gradient. Okay? The ratio of the height of elevation of water at the standpipe by the elevation of, or the depth of, the soil column. Okay? That will be what we call the hydraulic gradient. So, substituting H over H sub 2 is equal to I sa ating working equation sa UC, we can have UC is equal to gamma WH sub 1 plus gamma WZ plus gamma WIZ, or the hydraulic gradient I and Z. Now, for the effective stress. Effective stress tayo. Same pa rin formula. Effective stress is equal to total stress minus the pore water pressure. So, for point A, effective stress at point A is equal to gamma WH sub 1 minus gamma WH sub 1. That will be equal to 0. Next, at point B, subtracting the total stress at point B and the pore water pressure at point B, we can have this equation. Okay, cancel yung gamma WH sub 1. We can have gamma sat H sub 2 minus gamma WH sub 2 minus gamma W times H. Okay, simplifying. Again, we have gamma sat minus gamma W. We can change it as gamma prime. The effective stress at point B will be gamma prime H sub 2 minus gamma W times H. Lastly, effective stress at point C. Okay, sorry. This is effective stress. Okay, effective stress at point C. Okay, subtracting total stress at point C by the pore water pressure at point C. Cancel din yung gamma WH sub 1. We can have this equation. Gamma sat Z minus gamma WZ minus gamma WIZ. Okay. Again, we have gamma sat minus gamma W. Gamma prime yon. So, therefore, we can have gamma prime Z minus gamma WIZ. Okay. So, these are the procedure for the effective stress with downward seepage. Okay, if we plot our stresses, we can have this one for the total stress, for the pore water pressure, and for the effective stress. Okay, another principle is that we have this what we call the quick or boiling condition. Okay, so if the rate of seepage and the hydraulic gradient gradually increased, a limiting condition will be reached, at which point our total stress, the effective stress, which is, alam natin, equal siya sa gamma prime Z, kung i-consider natin ay yung point C, gamma prime Z minus gamma W IZ, yung hydraulic gradient natin will now be the critical hydraulic gradient. Okay? So, magiging ICR na siya, or I critical. And that effective stress at point C, or point of consideration, will be equal to 0. Okay, again, if we are considering the critical hydraulic gradient, effective stress must be equal to 0. Okay? Now, the ICR, or the critical hydraulic gradient, has this formula. I sub CR is equal to gamma prime all over gamma W. Again, critical hydraulic gradient is equal to the submerged unit weight, or gamma prime, all over the unit weight of the water. Okay? Now, for most soils, the critical hydraulic gradient varies from 0.9 to 1.1 with an average of 1. Okay, usually 1. So, for an example, for the upward seepage and also boiling condition. So, problem 1.3. So, a 9-meter thick layer of a stiff saturated clay is underlain by a layer of sand. The sand is under artesian pressure. Calculate the maximum depth of cut H, atong H na to, that can be made in the clay. Okay, again, a 9-meter thick layer of stiff saturated clay is underlain by a layer of sand. The sand is under artesian pressure. Calculate the maximum depth of cut H that can be made in the clay. Okay, ika-cut down natin to, hindi natin alam kung hanggang saan, no? And ika-cut natin siya sa maximum depth niya kung saan hindi siya masisira, no? Hindi siya mag-heave. Now, how do we compute this problem, no? So, kunin muna natin yung total stress or mga stresses natin sa point A. So, the total stress at point A is equal to this soil is saturated soil, so therefore gamma sat, multiply by the height. Anong height ang gagamitin? Of course, yung 9 minus H. Okay, again, 9 minus H. Okay, kasi nandito siya, no? 9 minus H. So, the UA, or the pore pressure at point A, is equal to gamma W times 3.6. So, we are just considering here itong standpipe. Standpipe ang kinoconsider natin ngayon. So, for heave to occur, or pag sinabi ng heave, yung magmamound or yung uumbok, no? Para daw mag-occur yung heaving o yung umbok natin sa lupa, the effective stress at point A is equal to 0. Okay? So, i-consider na para daw mag-occur ang heaving, effective stress at point A must be equal to 0. Quick condition or the boiling condition. So, we have this effective stress formula. So, substituting the values, no? We have 0. Kasi nga, we need heave to occur para makuha natin maximum depth ng cut. No? So, we have the total stress at point A. Then, the pore water pressure at point A. Substituting the values of gamma sat and gamma W, we can have 162 minus 18H minus 35.316. Using your calculator, we can compute for the value of H, or the maximum depth of cut. Okay, we have the H is equal to 7.038 meters. Next problem, problem 1.4. So a cut is made in a stiff saturated clay that is underlain by a layer of sand. What should be the height of the water H in the cut so that the stability of the saturated clay is not lost? Okay? So may cut daw tayo dun sa ating saturated clay. Okay, ito yung saturated clay natin. May water tayo dito. So what will be the height of water para hindi lang mawala yung stability ng ating saturated clay? Yeah. Or i-maximize natin yung H nung clay natin, H nung water natin para hindi mawala or bago mawala yung stability nung saturated clay. Okay? So at point A, at yung point na kino-consider natin, isa-isay natin lahat ng stresses. We have first the total stress. Total stress natin dyan is 7 minus 5. Okay, itong height na to. Okay, this height, ito yung kino-consider natin. Okay, that will be 7 minus 5 times gamma sat. Okay, yung 19 kN per cubic meter. Plus, kanina kasi wala tayong gamma W na. Ngayon, may water na tayong kino-consider din sa ating total stress. Okay, given yan. Gamma W times H. Substituting the values, we have 2 times 19 kN per cubic meter plus 9.81 kN per cubic meter times H. Okay. So simplifying, we can have the total stress at point A as 38 plus 9.81 times H. Now for UA, okay? Sa UA natin, tingin na lang tayo sa standpipe. That will be 4.5 times 9.81. UA is equal to 44.145 kilo Pascal. So, for the loss of stability, no, i-maximize natin ngayon yung saturated clay natin. So, therefore, the saturated clay, the effective stress of the saturated clay must be equal to 0. Okay, at point A. So, therefore, you have 0 is equal to total stress at point A minus the pore water pressure at point A. Substituting yung mga equations natin and yung values natin, we can have 38 plus 9.81H minus 44.145 equal to 0. Okay? Ma-maximize natin para para sa loss of stability niya. Using your calculator, we can compute for the value of H as 0.626 meters. Okay? Almost half a meter lang o kalahating metro lang ang iaangat nung water natin. Okay, pag lumagpas ka na sa 0.626 meters, okay, mawawala na ng mawawala na integrity or malulus na yung stability ng mismo saturated clay natin. Okay. That is problem 1.4. Now, for the effective stress with downward seepage, okay, again, we have here a tank. We have layers of the water table and the soil mass natin. This time, ang inflow natin ay nanggaling sa itaas. Okay, galing sa itaas ngayon yung inflow natin. Kanina, inflow natin galing sa baba. Tinutulak niya, or nagpasok ka ng pressure of water dyan, tinulak niya pataas. Kaya upward seepage. Ngayon, kaya nag-overflow yung tubig galing sa itaas. Ngayon, ang inflow natin o yung addition of water natin ay galing sa itaas. No? Magsisip in siya pababa. Of course, kailangan na may lalabasan yung ating tubig, no? Hindi siya mag-overflow galing sa taas. Yung overflow niya ngayon, papasok dito sa ating pipe. Okay? since bukas ang valve natin, dito na siya mag-outflow. Again, from the inflow, okay, papasok siya dito sa ating, dadagdag siya sa water table. Yung nadagdag sa water table, magsisip pass through sa ating soil, pababa. Since bukas yung valve natin sa ating pipe, lalabas dyan yung tubig na difference na pinasok mo, tsaka yun na naging steady na water dito. Lalabas siya, yun na magiging outflow natin. Kung kanina, yung bottom part natin ay mas mataas ang elevation niya compared sa others, for the upward seepage, this time, since ang dagdag ng tubig natin ay galing sa taas, no? Nagre-release siya ngayon ng pressure sa pipe natin sa ibaba. Ibig sabihin, mataas ang pressure niya na pinapasok dito sa point A na to, malakas ang pressure niya. Pero pabagsak siya ng pabagsak o pababa na pababa yung pressure hanggang ma-relieve siya dito sa ating pipe. Okay? So therefore, sa standpipe natin, mas mataas ngayon ang mas mababa ngayon yung level ng pressure natin dito sa point B or na piezometer natin sa point B. Okay? You have also the difference of height from the water table papunta dito sa ating point B, that is H, and the difference in the height of the water table and point C, or the piezometer point C, which is H over H sub 2 times Z. So all of these equations na parang katulad lang sa upward seepage, no? So in difference, no, sa ito lang magiging difference niya, no, sa UB, okay, sa pore water pressure at point B. Consider natin to, yung taas, which is water, gamma WH sub 1, the saturated soil, which is gamma WH sub 2. This time, hindi na siya plus, hindi ka nagdadagdag pataas, no? Ang flow kasi natin, kung ano yung flow natin, yun yung sign natin dito. Kung upward kanina, positive to kanina. Since downward seepage tayo pababa, so therefore, negative yung gamma WH natin. And then, we have UC. Same lang din, pero ito lang din pinagkaiba niya. And we know that H over H sub 2 is the hydraulic gradient. Substituting, we have this one. Okay, same process lang din naman, no? Nagkaiba lang tayo sa sign. Again, pag upward ang seepage natin, nagpa-positive tayo dito. Pag downward yung seepage natin, nagne-negative yung value natin dito. So, for the effective stress, same lang din naman. 0 pa din siya sa point A. Okay, sa point B, ito ngayon sa point B, we have gamma prime H sub 2 plus gamma WH. And for the stress at, the effective stress at point C, we can have gamma prime Z plus gamma WIZ. Okay? If we plot the effective stresses or the stresses with downward seepage, ito yung mag-itsura niya. Okay? So, let's discuss now seepage force. Okay? Isa to sa mga objectives natin. No? So, this will be our last objective. Understanding the calculation of the seepage force. Now, so we have here the soils, no? Soils in consideration. Point A, point B, and point C. Point A, no seepage. Point B, upward seepage. And point C is downward seepage. Okay? So, the effective stress at depth Z without seepage will be sigma prime is equal to gamma prime times Z. Okay? Okay. If we multiply both sides by the cross-sectional area of the soil. So, diba, ito ay P prime over A. So, makakancel yon. Okay? So, we can now have P prime is equal to gamma prime times Z times A. Okay? Now, due to upward seepage, no? Upward seepage sa ito, consider natin. So, we have P sub 2 or P prime sub 2 is equal to gamma prime times Z minus gamma W times IZ times A. Okay? And now, the difference or the decrease in the total force due to the upward pressure will be P prime sub 1 minus P prime sub 2. Okay? So, if we do the calculation, we can have the gamma W times I, or the hydraulic gradient, times the depth Z times the cross-sectional area. And the seepage force per unit volume, okay? So, if we divide both sides by A, okay, so this is the seepage force per unit volume. We can have I gamma W. Sorry, this is volume pala dapat. So, dapat Z to. AZ. Okay? So, makakancel yung A, makakancel yung Z. I gamma W. So, that is the seepage force. Okay, so for problem 1.5, so let's consider the upward flow, so upward seepage, upward flow of water through a layer of sand in a tank as shown. For the sand, the following are given. The void ratio, or E, is equal to 0.52, and the specific gravity of solids is 2.67. Letter A, calculate the total stress, the pore water pressure, and the effective stress at points A and B. And letter B, we have what is the upward seepage force per unit volume of soil. Okay, so letter A, calculate the total stress, pore water pressure, and effective stress at points A and B. Okay, binigay sa atin dito is the void ratio of the sand, which is 0.52, and the specific gravity of sand, which is 2.67. Hindi binigay yung mga unit weights natin. Yun pa naman pinakakailangan. So, let's find first the unit weights, no? Sand lang naman meron tayo dito na soil. So, since yung water natin, yung water table natin, is above the soil itself or above the sand, therefore saturated na itong sand natin ito. Okay. Dagdagan mo pa ng inflow, no? Saturated ito. Fully saturated talaga yan. Okay? So, the unit weight to be considered dito sa sand area natin ito is the saturated unit weight. Okay? Again, from your soil mechanics, ito yung formula from our soil mechanics, no? We have gamma sat is equal to quantity GS plus E quantity times gamma W all over 1 plus E. So, substituting the values of specific gravity and void ratio in the gamma W, we can have this 2.67 plus 0.52 times 9.81 all over 1 plus 0.52. Our gamma sat is equal to 20.588 kilonewton per cubic meter. Okay, at point A, ito yung point A natin. Okay. For the total stress. Okay. So, what are the layers in consideration? The water table having a height of 0.7 and the saturated sand at the depth 1 meters. Okay, so that will be total stress at point A is equal to gamma W, since water to, times 0.7 plus gamma sat, or the saturated unit weight of the sand, times the depth of 1 meters. Substituting, we have 9.81 times 0.7 plus 20.588 times 1. Total stress at point A is 27.455 kilo Pascal. Next, we have the pore water pressure. So, U sub A. So, dalawa pa rin na may consider natin dito. Okay, tatlo na. Okay? So, since may upward seepage tayo, consider natin ay the water table, the soil or the saturated sand, and standpipe. Okay? So, therefore, U sub A is equal to the gamma W times 0.7 plus gamma W times 1, since saturated, so basa siya, may tubig siya, and IZ gamma W, okay, or the hydraulic gradient times Z times gamma W. So that would be 1.5 at the H natin all over 2, the height of the soil column, times 1 at yung Z natin, kasi point A lang naman kino-consider natin, times gamma W. So, equal sa kanila ay gamma W, pwede natin ilabas, no? So, that would be 9.81 times quantity of 0.7 plus 1 plus 1.5 over 2 times 1. So, therefore, UA is equal to 24.035 kilo Pascal. For the effective stress, total stress minus pore water pressure, we have 51.49 kilo Pascal. Okay. So, I stand corrected. That will be effective stress is equal to 3.42 kilo Pascal. Okay. So, at point B, ito yung gamma sat na natin. Binigay na compute na natin to. The total stress for the point B is equal to gamma W times 0.7, ito yun, water, plus gamma sat, sagad natin hanggang 2 meters. Okay, substituting the values, we have the stress at point B, or total stress at point B, is equal to 48.043 kilopascal. So, for the pore water pressure, or UB, so, dalawa layers pa din. We have the water, tatlo, water, saturated sand, and the standpipe. So, gamma W times 0.7 plus gamma W times 2 plus gamma W times 1.5. Okay. Substituting values, we can have the UB as 41.202 kilopascal. So, for the effective stress at point B, that will be total stress at point B minus the pore water pressure at point B. Substituting the values, we can have the effective stress at point B as 6.841 kilopascal. Okay. And last, for letter B, what is the upward seepage? Upward seepage force per unit volume of soil. So, for the seepage force, denote natin lang as SF is equal to the hydraulic gradient times gamma W. So, we know that the hydraulic gradient is H over H sub 2. So, that will be 1.5 over 2 times 9.81. And the seepage force will be 7.358 kilonewton per cubic meter. And that is for problem 1.5. Okay. So, for the next topic, we have the capillary rise in soils. Okay? So this is capillary rise is also important, no? Kasi may mga times na in this water, kung may tubig sa ilalim, may times na nabubutas to, no? Nabubutas yung soil natin, somewhat nagka-crack, doon ngayon pumapasok yung water natin. Okay, one good example for the capillary rise in soils ay yung mga balon, yung mga well. Okay? So, usually, may groundwater table sa ilalim. Okay, may GWT sa ilalim. Then, bubutasin nila. Okay, magbubutas para magkaroon ng well. Ngayon, lalabas yung tubig. Akit ngayon yung tubig. Okay. Tendency, mababasa ngayon yung mga dating dry, magiging wet soil. No? So, these are the equations, no, for the capillary rise in soils. No? But we are up to dito. Okay? So, in terms of soil, ito pa gagamit natin. So, we have at a degree of saturation, okay, and H sub 1, ito yung formula. H sub 1 in mm is equal to C over E D10. Again, H sub 1 in mm is equal to C over E D10. So, what is D10? D10 is the effective size after sieving in mm. Okay? E is the void ratio, of course. And C is the constant that varies from 10 to 50 millimeters squared. So, magagamit natin yung formula na yan. And also, to classify the soil type, here are the range of capillary rise in terms of meters. Pag coarse sand, in between daw siya ng 0.1 to 0.2 meters of range of capillary rise. For fine sand, 0.3 to 1.2. Silt is 0.75 to 7.5. And clay is 7.5 to 23. Okay. And for the effective stress in the zone of capillary rise, okay, the pore water pressure at a point in a layer of soil partially saturated caused by capillary action. Okay, we will be using U is equal to negative S over 100 times gamma W times H. Okay. Wherein U is the pore water pressure of the partially saturated soil caused by capillary action. S is the degree of saturation. Gamma W is the unit weight of water. And H is the capillary rise. Okay, so let's use this in a problem. Okay, so for problem 1.6, so a soil profile is shown. Given that the H sub 1 is equal to 1.83 meters, H sub 2 is equal to 0.91 meters, and H sub 3 is 1.83 meters, plot the variation of the total stress, the neutral stress, and the effective stress within the depth. Okay? So, given to tayo dito sa soil profile, yung zone of capillary rise natin is at H sub 2. Okay? Depth H sub 2. Yung depth H sub 1 natin has a specific gravity of 2.65 and void ratio of 0.5. Okay? That is sand. And the zone of capillary rise natin sa the SG or the specific gravity is 2.65, void ratio is 0.5, and the degree of saturation is 50%. Our groundwater table is located at depth H sub 3. Okay, that depth is also the depth of the saturated clay, having a moisture content of 42% and a specific gravity of 2.71. Okay? So, pinapaplot daw sa atin yung variations of the total stress, the neutral stress, and the effective stress. So first, let's find out what are the unit weights in each layer. Kasi binigay lang sa atin is the specific gravities, the moisture content, the degree of saturation, and also the void ratio. Okay? So first, for the dry sand. Okay. Doon muna tayo sa first layer natin, dry sand. So, binigay sa atin is just the specific gravity and the void ratio. Since dry sand siya, so we need to find the unit weight of the dry sand. So, what kind of unit weight? That will be gamma D or gamma dry or the dry unit weight of the sand. Having the formula gamma D is equal to GS gamma W all over 1 plus E. Okay, again, gamma D or gamma dry is equal to GS gamma W all over 1 plus E. So, given naman lahat, no? And the gamma W is 9.81. Substituting the values, we have 2.65 times 9.81 all over 1 plus 0.5. Therefore, gamma dry is equal to 17.331 kilonewton per cubic meter. So, for the moist sand at the zone of capillary rise, okay? Moist sand po ang meron tayong sand sa zone of capillary. Bakit moist? Bakit hindi saturated? Logically, pag sinabi natin fully saturated, the degree of saturation of that sand is 100%. Okay, for fully saturated. At gagamitin lang natin ang saturated unit weight if our soil sample is fully saturated. Okay? Since the degree of saturation at the zone of the capillary rise is just 50%, isabihin, mamasa-masa lang yung sand natin. Okay? So that's why we're just gonna find the moist unit weight of the sand. Okay? So, gamma moist ang kailangan natin. Okay? So, that will be gamma moist is equal to quantity GS plus SE times gamma W all over 1 plus E. Okay? Available naman lahat. So, we can substitute all values and we can get the moist unit weight of sand as 18.966 kilonewton per cubic meter. Okay? And lastly, for the saturated clay. Okay, ito fully saturated yung clay natin. So therefore, ang kukunin natin unit weight will be gamma sat, no? Gamma sat is equal to GS plus E times gamma W all over 1 plus E. Pero hindi available yung void ratio natin. Ang binigay sa atin is the moisture content having 42%. Okay, moisture content ang binigay sa atin. Available ang GS. So, what will be the formula? Knowing that the saturated degree of saturation is 100% and the moisture content is 42%. Okay? So, everyone, I know familiar tayo dito sa sewages. Okay? Sa formula na sewages sa soil mechanics. Na? Sewages. SE is equal to WGS. No? Ito yan. The sewages formula. We know that the clay is fully saturated. So, therefore, ang S natin will be 1.0 or 100%. E ang hinahanap natin, which is the void ratio. Moisture content is 0.42. The specific gravity is 2.71. Okay? So, now, using your calculator, we can calculate for the void ratio. The void ratio of the saturated clay is equal to 1.138. So, in calculating this, na make sure na ang kinukuha nyo is the void ratio of the saturated clay. No? Pag hindi siya saturated clay, magkaka-problem kayo when it comes to gamma sat. Okay, so therefore gamma sat, substituting the values that are available, we can have gamma sat of clay as 17.656 kilonewton per cubic meter. So, nakuha natin lahat ng unit weights. We can now compute for the total stresses and the neutral stresses. So, for the total stress, at point A, since wala naman nakapatong sa kanya, kahit ano, so therefore, the total stress at point A is equal to 0. Okay, eto na. At point B, okay? At point B, ang nakapatong lang kay point B, ang overburden pressure lang. Okay, pag sabi kong overburden, nakapatong. Overburden pressure lang sa stress B o sa point B is etong dry sand. Okay, so therefore we'll be using gamma dry. So that will be gamma dry times the height of 1.83 meters. Okay, so that will be 17.331 times 1.83. Therefore, total stress at point B is 31.716 kilopascal. Next is point C. Itong point C. Ang nakapatong sa kanya, yung dry sand and moist sand. Okay? So, that will be gamma dry times 1.83 plus itong sa zone of capillary rise, which is gamma moist times 0.91 meters. Substituting the values, we have 17.331 times 1.83 plus 18.966 times 0.91. Therefore, the total stress at point C is equal to 48.975 kilopascals. And lastly, total stress at point D. So, ilan layers na yan? 1, 2, 3 layers na. So, we have the overburden pressure from the dry sand, the moist sand, and the saturated clay. So, substituting the values, we can have the total stress at point D as 81.285 kilopascals. Okay. Okay, tapos na tayo sa total stress. Let's go for the pore water pressure. Okay. So, first, UA or pore water pressure at point A, of course, 0. Wala siyang water sa taas. Ito na. Point B. Okay. This is only applicable, this principle is only applicable sa capillary rise. Okay. Sa point kung saan merong capillary rise. Okay? Sa point B, dalawa ngayon na i-consider natin na pressure. Pressure sa taas or above and pressure sa baba or below. Bakit? Sabi natin, sa capillary rise, okay, sa zone of capillary, ito yung water table natin, okay? Ang nangyayari kasi dyan is, yung tubig from the water table is umaakyat hanggang sa point B. Okay, dyan. Umaakyat siya. Dito rin, umaakyat din yan. Umaakyat siya dyan. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nagdadagdag siya ngayon ng pressure. Nagdadagdag siya ng pressure from the groundwater table papunta ngayon sa point B. Okay? So, bukod dun sa overburden water pressure galing sa taas, meron ka pang pressure or water pressure na umaakyat mula sa groundwater table papunta dito sa point B mo. So, dalawa ang kukunin natin na pore water pressure at point B. We have above and below. Okay, start tayo sa above. Since dry sand or walang water dito or hindi naman moist itong sand natin dito, walang tubig sa itaas. Okay? There's no water above, so therefore, UB above is 0. But UB below has water, no? May pore water pressure tayo dyan na galing sa groundwater table natin na umakyat through capillary rise papunta sa point B. Okay? And during our discussion kanina sa capillary rise, the formula for the effective stress or the pore water effective stress at the zone of capillary rise will be negative S times gamma W times the height of the capillary rise. Again, that will be negative S times gamma W times the height of the capillary rise. Okay, negative S, the degree of saturation here must be in terms of decimal place na. Okay, or S over 100, no? Then, yung H dito is the height of the capillary. Okay, hanggang saan ba umakyat yung tubig? Tinamaan yung point B. No? So, therefore, H here will be H2, not H1. Okay? So, manggagaling yung height natin mula sa ibaba. Okay? Kasi umaakyat ka nga eh. Umaakyat ka. Okay? So, substituting the values, may degree of saturation tayo, which is 0.5. Don't forget the negative sign. No? Don't forget the negative sign. Okay? Kasi, yung mga forces natin na kinocompute kanina pa, lahat yan is downward. No? Pababa tayo. So, downwards positive ang nangyayari sa atin ngayon. Okay? Downwards positive. Since itong capillary rise is opposite of our direction, therefore, magne-negative yan. So, kaya dapat meron tayong negative sign dito. No? So, computing this one, our pore water pressure at point B below will be negative 4.464 kilopascals. Okay? Then, UC will be 0. Bakit 0 na ngayon si UC? Eh, sir, may moist dyan eh. May moist to, di ba? Moisan to. Di ba? So, bakit kaya, no? Dito sa point B, yung above niya, maintindihan pa natin kasi dry to. Eh, etong layer na to is moist. Okay? So, meron tayo dyan tinatawag na artesian pressure. No? Umaakyat yung tubig natin. Okay? Hindi siya nag-retain. Okay? Hindi siya nag-retain dito. Kahit sabihin pa natin moist yung sand natin dito. Yung moist ng sand dito, umaakyat din, no? Hindi siya nagbibigay ng pressure dito sa point C. Naintindihan yan? Yung water na yan? Okay? Yung water natin na dapat ma-retain lang dito. Sige, sabi natin, pag na-retain yung tubig natin o yung water natin dito sa height na H2 na to, pag na-retain dyan, magbibigay siya ng pressure dito sa point C. But since umaakyat yung tubig natin, capillary rise, yung pressure din natin ay umaakyat. So, yung pressure na inaakyat natin, na umaakyat, o yung water pressure na umaakyat, sa point B siya nag-act, hindi sa point C. Okay? So, therefore, yung point C natin, free siya. Okay? Walang pressure sa kanya. So, therefore, UC is equal to 0. Again, bakit nag-0 siya? Yung water pressure natin ay umaakyat due to capillary rise. So, nag-act siya sa B, hindi siya nag-act sa C. Okay? Okay, next is UD. Okay? The pore water pressure at point D, so that will be equal to the gamma W times 1.83. Okay? That will be 9.81 times 1.83. The pore water pressure at point D will become 70.952 kilopascals. Now, we can now compute for the effective stress. So, ito yung total stress natin. Ito rin yung total stress for water pressure. Okay? Total stress, effective stress at point A. Of course, 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Effective stress at point B above, that will be the total stress at point B minus the pore water pressure at point B above. That will be 31.716 minus 0. That will be 31.716 kilopascals. Okay. Next, the effective stress at point B below, that will be the total stress at point B minus the pore water pressure at point B below. Substituting, we have 31.716 minus negative 4.464. Therefore, the effective stress at point B below is 36.18 kilopascals. Next, the effective stress at point C can be computed as total stress at C minus pore water pressure at C. Substituting the values, we have 48.975 minus 0. Effective stress at C is 48.975 kilopascals. And lastly, effective stress at D is total stress at D minus the pore water pressure at D. Substituting, 81.285 minus 17.952, we can have the effective stress at D as 63.333 kilopascals. So we have now completed all our stresses. The total stress, the neutral stress, and the effective stress. So we can now plot our stresses. Okay, so here are our total stress, neutral stress, and effective stress. So for the total stress, ito yung magiging plot niya, no? Almost linear lang. Okay. But in the pore water pressure, ito ngayon yung magiging plot niya. Yeah. So, from 0, bumababa tayo ng depth, 0 pa rin siya kasi yung UB above ay 0. And then, UB below is negative 4.464, no? So, negative, so yung right side is positive and left side is negative. Punta tayo sa left side. Still, at point B. Ito yung point B natin, no? Ito yung point B pa rin natin. Point B pa rin natin itong level na to. And then, UC is 0. Then, UD is 17.952. And lastly is effective stress. Ito na may magiging plot natin. From 0, UB above is 31.716. Then, and the effective stress below is 36.18. So, point B pa rin. So, positive to the right. Then, point C, 48.975. And point D is 63.333 kilopascals. So, that's how we compute the effective stresses considering the zone of the capillary rise. Okay? So, that's it for the effective stresses in soil. So, other problems will be discussed later. So, just stay tuned. Okay? So, God bless everyone and I'll see you soon.